Hello and welcome to this evening's reflection. I'm Anne. Yesterday I talked about waiting in times of uncertainty. Today I'd like to talk about 7 men who had a wait, again in uncertain times. Now these guys were professional fishermen. They came from fishing families, but they'd spent a couple of years following a man who was an incredible leader. His insight and teaching drew really large crowds. He was a great healer that drew even more people to him. And these 7 were among a number of followers who witnessed some pretty amazing events. But they also had experienced some fairly traumatic events where they thought they'd lost their leader forever, and he happened to return to them against all odds. And it was at that time that he'd said to them, "Go back to where you were when I called you to follow me." And so that's what they did. And Jesus had said to them, because it was Jesus, "I will come to you," but he didn't give them an indication of when. So here they were waiting. And one of the 7 had the bright idea of going fishing one night. So they got themselves a boat. After all, they were from fishing families. They went out. It must have been a good night for fishing, otherwise I doubt they would have gone out. These guys, they knew what they were doing. They had the skills and the knowledge. They knew the lake extremely well. They knew the conditions that were the best kind of conditions to catch fish. They had the right boat. They had the right nets. They had the right resources, the right manpower. There were 7 big, strong men to do the fishing work. And off they went, but they fished all night and didn't catch a thing. Now, I can imagine that would have been pretty discouraging and disappointing. So at a time when most people would have been tucked away in their beds, fast asleep, nice and warm, they were out there on a lake during the coldest time of the night, when the hours can seem the darkest and the longest, getting absolutely no results. No matter what they did, their efforts just didn't do a thing, even though they were doing the right kinds of things to get the results. But they persisted. They didn't give up. They kept doing what they were good at. As the dawn approached, they made their way back to shore. All in all, a rather disappointing night. There on the shore was a man. They couldn't make out his features because it was still a pre-dawn light. And he called out to them over the water, and so indistinctly, I suspect, they heard him say, "Did you catch anything?" To which they yelled back, "Not a thing." And then they heard the voice drift back again. "Try throwing your nets over the starboard side, then you'll catch some." Are you kidding us? We've been out all night doing exactly that and a whole lot more. And here's this guy on the beach telling them what to do. So anyway, I guess maybe they thought, well, it can't do any harm. Or maybe they thought, we'll show him a thing or two, that it's not us, it's just the way it is. And they threw those nets out, that net out over the starboard side. And lo and behold, that net became so full of fish, it was to bursting point, and they couldn't pull it into the boat. And one of the guys on board, John, said to his mate Peter, "I think that's our leader. I think that's the Lord. It has to be. And Peter, who was the one who had the bright idea to go out fishing, strips off, dives into the water, and makes his way to Jesus to say hi, leaving the others to struggle with this heavy net. Anyway, it wasn't that far to shore, only about 100 metres that they had to drag it. And Peter does go and goes and helps them. But the thing about this story that I like is that they didn't give up. Even when they weren't getting results after all their efforts, they didn't give up in those wee small hours. And you yourself may be experiencing the long, dark hours of the night as you struggle with a lack of results in your life, when no matter what you do, with the right skills and the right knowledge and the right equipment and the right resources, nothing is happening. You're not getting a catch. Can I encourage you to, like this group of fishermen, to hang in there? Because Jesus can and will come to you. And if you listen to him and trust him, he will provide. And I'd also like to, I guess the other nice thing about this story is the long, dark hours give way to the dawn and a new day. And Jesus, as you trust him, can transform your long, dark, empty hours into abundance, to overflowing. You may not know exactly how or when, but he can do this. And so my hope and my prayer and my encouragement for you is that you will let him be part of your life so that he can come and help. Respond to him. Let him fill your needs and those of your family. He can give you hope for your future. Bye for now.